Okay, so today is, I don't even know what today is. What is today?
The second.
The second. And Joy is going to be heading up the call. I'm so excited to hear what she has to say. So I won't keep you guys too long. I'm just going to talk about some upcoming groups real quick. On the 16th, we're going to have Coaching at a Glance. So invite people that you think would be interested in learning more about the opportunity. The 23rd, we'll have two groups. We'll have a 30-day general group, and we'll have a 21-day fixed group. So that's for either the extreme or the regular program. So be talking to people, be inviting to those groups. So that's all I have for you today. So I'm going to turn it over to Joy and let her take over.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me share today, Jen. It was exciting for me to get the chance to do this. I'm really excited for what's happening with us personally right now and in our business. When I first signed on as a coach, I didn't really see this as a business opportunity that it could be. As Jen well knows, and Brandon they both kind of tried to talk me into doing this, and I didn't see myself doing this at all. A lot of that was lack of faith in myself at that point. But my vision for this business has really grown, especially in the last 6 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. And my personal life has just totally been changed by this business and everything I've experienced in the last 16 months. I know we're recording this call and there's not very many of us on right now, but for those of you that haven't heard my story, I've dealt with my weight my entire life. I won't take the time today to go into all the details, but I've never been thin. Aside from maybe a couple years in my early elementary years. I've always struggled with my self-esteem and lack of confidence. I also struggled with fertility issues about 4, almost 5 years ago. Those brought me to my breaking point. That was a big piece of my journey. Finding that I couldn't have what I wanted. In short, we had our first daughter at that point, and I had 2 miscarriages in 8 months' time and really struggled with depression and self-doubt and guilt during that time. It was awful. I wasn't sure I wanted to go on with anything in my life at that point. So that's a big piece of kind of my past. I also had constant pain from all the weight that I was carrying around. I weighed about 250 at my worst, and I was too big for my size 20s. So I had knee pain, I had back pain, I had feet pain, and my doctor at that time, to say it nicely, was not very helpful. Well, you just need to lose weight. I'm like, well, no kidding, but how do I do that? I tried, and I really struggled to do anything that would make any kind of a difference. It was a life I didn't want for myself, but I didn't know what to do. So as a result of those fertility struggles, I decided to lose the weight once and for all. And I did lose about 25 pounds doing Zumba and doing a workout DVD at home, but it was really slow. It was tedious, and I didn't figure out the nutrition side of doing all of this. Thankfully, Brandon found Beachbody when he started doing Insanity just about 3 years ago. I began doing T25 16 months ago, and I got incredible results. For the first time in my life, I really enjoyed doing a workout program, and the weight was falling off, the inches were falling off, and I felt great. It was totally life-changing. My first round was great. I did another round, and at that point, I started doing Shakeology, and Jen invited me to my first challenge group during that time, and I just couldn't believe how different I felt. I finally started gaining some self-confidence and believing that I could be a better version of myself. So despite how hard all of those struggles have been, I really believe that God brought Beachbody into our lives for a reason. And sorry. Like I said, Jen invited me to a challenge group at that point, and that was like April of last year. And I didn't really know what that was all about or what that meant, but I thought it was worth a try. And it was so life-changing. I mean, here are all these people that I don't even know. The only person I barely knew was Jennifer, and all these people are encouraging me and cheering me on, and I'm seeing these great results. I mean, in 10 weeks, I lost 16 pounds or something like that, 18 pounds, whatever it was. And like 13 inches. I mean, that's amazing. I'd never had that kind of results. And so the support that I got from that group helped me really push forward with my own personal journey with weight loss. And then comes the coach part. Brandon had decided to become a coach in, what was it, honey? April? Is that right? I think it was April. Anyway, and he had kind of tried to say, hey, you should join on too, whatever. And I didn't understand how the business was structured and all that. And I was like, well, I guess I could to help you out. But I was like, no. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm busy. I'm a teacher. We got the kids. I don't even know why you're doing this right now. I was such a doubter. And poor Brandon. That was totally me with the workout thing too. That's a different story. But I remember him saying, you know, it would help me out and it'd be good and, you know, all this stuff. And I'm just like, no. So then Jennifer sees me in the group, the challenge group. And I remember the day I'll never forget, she messages me and she's like, so have you ever considered being a coach? And I just remember laughing like, yeah, right. I'm not doing that. Brandon already asked me that. I don't want to do this. And besides, who would want me as a coach anyway? I'm a mess. Like, I don't have my own stuff figured out yet anyways. So funny enough, I've been surprised to find out a lot of people want me as their coach because as friends and family members and complete strangers have told me, I'm inspiring them. And that still blows my mind. Like, I'm just some normal person. There's nothing special about me. I've got all these issues from my past, and somehow I've finally found what's going to work for me, and that's inspiring others to do better for themselves. And that just blows my mind. It's amazing. I have now lost a total of 80 pounds. I'm down to about 170, and I feel amazing. I was, like I said, bulging out of my size 20s at my worst, and I'm now getting ready to hopefully go shopping for a size 10. I can't wait. The 12s are getting a little baggy, and so that's awesome. So I see myself finally as strong and capable and confident. And when I look in the mirror, I'm proud of myself. And that's unbelievable to me, like something I've never had until just recently. So it's just awesome. So anyway, how does that impact my coaching? Well, again, as Jennifer could probably attest to, I'm probably not the best person to talk to about, I don't know, training or PD or any of that. Not the best about being on top of all that stuff. Jen's probably laughing at me right now. But what I can tell you is this. Everybody has a story. And somebody out there is going to be inspired by your story. And it doesn't matter whether it's a huge weight loss story, whether it's a personal struggle like my fertility issues, or whether it's something smaller, whether it's depression or whether it's a financial situation or whatever. Everybody has their own story. And the thing you need to do is you need to be you. You need to be real. You need to be yourself. And that has been honestly why I've been as successful as I have up to this point. You never know what words you say might impact somebody else and how that's going to impact them. And you just need to take those opportunities when they come up and have that belief in what we're doing. Let's see, I have my notes. Where am I at? The other thing I guess I should say here is one of my other concerns, pushy salesperson. I remember telling Jen that, like, I hate salespeople. I'm not going to be a salesperson. I am not going to sell this stuff. Like, yes, it's helping me. I totally believe in that, but I'm not selling this stuff. And she's like, no, you really don't have to sell. Like, that's not what this is about. It's about helping people. And being that I'm a teacher, that's what I do every day, all day long. I help little second graders learn how to add and subtract and read. And that's my life. And I love helping people. I love helping kids. And I always say in teaching, my favorite part of teaching is when I see that the light bulb come on. They have that light bulb moment and they finally get it. Well, I get that as a coach too. I have a challenger who has struggled forever like I did, and they finally figure it out. Like, oh wow, I get my nutrition figured out and I do my workout consistently and I do my best, and it finally happens. And I see that light bulb moment all the time with my challengers, and it's amazing. And I have to honestly say I've never sold one thing. I'm not a salesperson. I don't sell. I share my story, and I share the awesome things the tools that we can offer them and how to reach their goals. And the selling does itself. You don't have to sell. If that's something that, whether you're a new coach or old coach or whatever your situation is, I guarantee you don't have to sell in this business. I can't stress that enough, because that was my biggest hang up, aside from time. I was worried about that, and that's something I'm still working on. But this isn't about selling. That's why we're not called sales reps or sales people. We're coaches. We're there to help support people in their journey, and that's why forming is so important. You've got to get out there and get to know those people. And you'll hear that from any coach you talk to in this business. You've got to get to know your people. It's about relationships, and it really is. And being there for them at whatever stage that they're at. Like I said earlier, I haven't been the best about following trainings or doing my PD or any of that stuff until recently, and I'm getting better. That's some of my goals. There's those 3 vital behaviors: product of the product, you do your workout, you drink your Shakeology, you show them what works. Been great at that. But the other 2, not so much until lately. And I can only imagine, had I jumped on board with all of that before, where I might be with my business now. Obviously I can't change that, and that's fine. Like it's all part of my story. Again, this is where I'm at. It's not about me being the perfect example, because none of us are perfect. Far from it. But I don't know, kind of lost my train of thought. But I guess now that I've begun taking it seriously, and I see the potential that this business has, not just for me personally with my weight loss, not just for me in helping others, but the financial benefits it has for us, and actually the changes that it's made in our family. I mean, we're so much more active as a family. We eat so much better as a family, and it's just been awesome. I have new goals that I've set with the financial piece of this business. Jennifer was talking to me right before Christmas about my progress with the business, and specifically, how was I doing with the financial end of things, and how was I doing with all of that? And kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I really hadn't tracked how much money I'd made. I really had no idea. So from basically, I signed up the last day of May, so June till December, I had no idea what I had made. So I figured it out. In 7 months, my first 7 months as a coach, I made almost $1,700. And that blew my mind. Like, what? I didn't feel like I'd really worked. Like, this was not work to me. This was helping people. And it just was like, oh my gosh, like what, holy cow. And I don't know, it was just incredible. So I started looking at that, and then I figured out like an average. Okay, that's like $235 a month. Well, that's huge for us. I'm a teacher. My husband's a manager of a grocery store. That's our personal family business. We're not like rolling in the dough, and we have a significant amount of debt that we've been dealing with. And it's getting better over the years, but we've been in debt our entire marriage. And that's something that we've tried to deal with and just not found a way. And it's like the light bulb. I had my light bulb moment. Oh, this could change. Like, this doesn't have to stay like this. And we've now paid off one credit card. Granted, it was a little one, but it's paid for. And I see so much potential with changing where we're at financially as a family. Our goals are to pay off the rest of our credit cards, pay off our student loans, pay off a consolidation loan that we had that was formerly credit cards, and get all that dealt with. And then I want to pay off our car. We only have one car payment, but I want to get that paid off. And then I want to start saving for a deposit or a down payment for a house. We have a house now, we have our mortgage, but this is definitely not our dream house. And not that it's about things, it's not about that, but just logistically, the way our house is set up and things, it just isn't ideal for our family. We have 2 bedrooms on the main floor, and I've always said from the first day we saw this house, that's my one problem with this house, and it's driving me crazy. It works out, but so I just see just a finally, like, we can change this. Like, it doesn't have to be this constant battle of spending money that we don't have and then paying it off, and every Christmas, oh, let's charge Christmas gifts again. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. I mean, I just see so much of a possibility in that. Another dream I have that I would love is I want to take just the four of us, me and Brandon and our girls. I just want to go to Disneyland, just the four of us. And we've done that kind of thing with family. His family is awesome. They love going on trips. They love spoiling us and taking us places. So we've gone to Disney World. We're going to Mexico this summer and whatever. But excuse me. But just to have our own vacation and get to plan it the way we want to, you know, and not that those vacations are bad. It's not that at all. I'm not trying to be a snob, but they're just, I want to do it our way, you know, and have it just be the four of us making memories together. And the other thing I've told Brandon is I want to do a couples trip. I want him and I to go, I don't know, somewhere tropical, to the beach with some couples that are friends and just hang out. And that would be awesome. And it's like, oh, maybe once we kind of get things rolling and we save for that, we could actually make those kind of things happen too. So all of that financial piece is just eye-opening to me to realize where I've been. And, you know, if I really continue to dig in with my PD and continue to train myself and get better myself, that those kind of things could happen. Kind of along those same lines, I have something else in mind that I'm not quite ready to share yet. I've basically only shared it with Brandon, but there's something else that's kind of in my head that I'm processing through that this business could do for us too, and that would be incredible. So when the time comes, I will share that as well. But I never thought that this thing that I wanted could happen. I tried to make it happen a long time ago, and it logistically wasn't going to work. And I see now the possibility, and that's gives me chills. It's just super exciting. So anyway, the other thing that this business has done for me too that I wanted to share is prioritizing my life, I guess. One thing I've always struggled with is time management, both with my family and with my house and the dishes that are piled up in my sink right now that you can't see, and the gigantic pile of laundry sitting in the basement that's not folded. It's clean, but it's not folded, not put away. We're digging for socks this morning again. Anyway, Jennifer's laughing. Maybe yes, because you can relate. Yes. But also, I mean, even in my teaching, I remember that being something that even my co-teachers would tell me, you know, you've got to learn to manage your time better in a lesson when you're teaching and things like that. And it's like somehow time management is just not my forte. But one of the things that PD has taught me, now that I'm finally doing it, and this book has been amazing for that. You can see this. Not done with it yet, but I've got to learn to prioritize better, use the time I have better, and be careful and really schedule it. I was listening to the Team Wildfire call last night, and that was a question I asked there is, how in the world do I juggle this as a teacher, as a mom, as a wife, as a runner of this crazy household, all that stuff? I mean, how do I make this happen and be successful? And I kind of expected the answer. I've heard it before, but I just needed to hear it again, is you've got to schedule your time. You've got to make the time be what you need it to be and prioritize. You know, Lisa said, when you've got that 30 minutes, what are you going to do with that 30 minutes in the morning or hour if you want to get up that much earlier or whatever it is, or that 30 minutes at night? How are you going to use that power hour to best move your business forward and do what you need it to do? And I need to get better about that. You know, we all could sit for hours and scroll on Facebook. We're all pros at that. But I've learned a little bit better how to deal with that and not just get sucked in. You know, I do go check in with my groups and things like that, but I need to get better about inviting one of the other parts of our vital behaviors and all of that. But anyway, I just feel like I'm rambling now. I told you I'd do this, Jennifer. But I guess there's a couple last things are being productive with the time I have and really setting specific little goals for myself. I'm going to do this today and get that done, whether that's, you know, making a call to a potential new client like I did yesterday, or whether that's getting my PD done and actually getting up at 4:30 in the morning and reading this, because that's the only time I can do it. If I don't do it then, it doesn't happen. Whether it's getting that workout in or whatever, I've got to really tell my time where to go, just like I need to tell my money where to go. I got to tell my time where to go and use that time wisely. And I feel like this business not only helps you with your personal fitness and all that, obviously, but the fact that they encourage us to better ourselves with personal development is just awesome. You know, I've grown as a person. I've gotten more confident. I'm seeing the ways that my belief in myself, but also my belief in these products. You know, that's something else on the call last night was they were saying, you've got to show that you believe this. And if you don't believe it, if you're going, well, yeah, I think maybe Shakeology might help you, or, oh, this might be a good workout for you. Who wants to listen to that? They're not going to believe you, you know, and now I can say with heartfelt sincerity, Shakeology will change your life. This product will change your life. It will help you reach that goal you just told me about. You want to lose that 30 pounds? Here's how you do that. Plug into my challenge group. I will give you the support you need, you know, and don't forget that you are the main thing that those people need. We as coaches are what sets us apart from other business, other products, other whatever. And it just makes such a difference. So anyway, all of that to say, thank you again for letting me share today, Jen. And I just hope this has been helpful to anybody, whoever. It's been exciting to be able to share this. Oh, one last thing I almost forgot. As a coach, if you're serious about this, one other thing I can't possibly tell you enough of is if you're serious, go to a live event. I've been to 2 now, and I can't tell you. The first one I went to was in September, and that's the first time I shared my personal story in great detail. And sorry, I'm going to get choked up again. That changed my life. There's nothing like going to an event and either hearing stories like that or having maybe the opportunity to share your own. And I mean, it just gave me the next level of confidence that I needed. And then this last one I went to this past month in January. I mean, just story after story of success, whether it's weight loss or finances or whatever else. I mean, it just makes you realize this business has so much value in it. It's just incredible. So thanks, Jen.
Okay. That was, hold on, I don't know how to, okay. Well, first of all, that was amazing. I'm so proud of you, and I have chills, and I know we all really enjoyed that, and I had to hold back the tears. I do want to ask you, I know you touched on the personal development, but I do know that there's been a big change in you just in the last month or so, and I really feel like that was probably because of personal development. And that's, I mean, you talked about like not doing things, or you think you weren't doing things right from the beginning or whatever, but that's not always true. I mean, that's something that I even struggled with, was the PD and not believing that that's important. So can you kind of talk about why you think that helped you so much, and, you know, elaborate on how that's changed and what that's done for you?
Yeah, it's a huge piece of it. Huge. You told me back in May or June or whatever it was to read this one, and I'm still working on it. I'm still about halfway through. Okay, I'm just being honest. Again, I'm just being real. But when I started seeing and understanding from somebody who's really successful, you know, the little choices you make have such an impact. And I could flip through and find it right now, but there's a quote in here, something to the effect of that those little choices you make and just that continued, what is it? Small, smart choices plus, what was that called? I don't know.
I think it's like overtime or something, whatever. Equals momentum.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Something about that. So basically, it's small, smart choices that consistently over time equals success, or something to that effect. And you see that with your fitness, obviously. You know, you actually get up every day and you work out, or after work or whatever it is. You actually eat healthy every day, and you see that. But in the business side, it's the same way. I mean, more about myself, and I think a lot of it, I mean, truly my entire life, I have not believed in myself until recently. I mean, I remember when I got the teaching job that I have now. We're in a really small town, but it's very well known for being an amazing school district. People come here out of district or move here for the school district. They are very, very high quality. And I remember even when I got the interview, thinking, oh my gosh, I got the interview. Like, how did that happen to me? Like, what? And then I got the job. Long series of events, but somebody knew somebody that knew somebody at the school, and she didn't really know me personally, but she mentioned it to the principal. Oh, I've heard this school is great, whatever. And I'm thinking, seriously? I mean, and this was the person that recommended me. I mean, I knew her. I taught her kids. She worked with me. She was a co-teacher. She was awesome. But even now, like, I just remember thinking, how am I here? Like, I didn't believe in myself even as a teacher. I mean, I would have situations come up with parents that were either upset with me about something or an issue with their kiddo or whatever. And I didn't know how to handle that. I mean, this has impacted every aspect of my life, knowing that I'm working on being a better me. You know, I am learning how to use my time more wisely. I am learning that I can do these things, that what I have to say is valuable. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but I just feel like the confidence that I've gotten from this is just through the roof. I mean, if you knew me 3 years ago, you wouldn't recognize me. And people tell me that. I mean, literally. And part of it is the physical transformation. I mean, 80 pounds and a totally different haircut goes a long way. But I mean, literally, people are like, oh my gosh, you're not even the same person. This is so funny. I was at a social event, I don't know, a month or so ago, a birthday party, and I ran into a student that I'd had 5 or 6 years ago. I'm like, hey, how are you? Called him my name, totally remembered him. I had his brother a couple years later. And he kept looking at me really funny, and I'm like, how's school, you know, how's whatever. And he finally looks at me, and this is a middle schooler, granted. He looks at me, he's like, I have no idea who you are. And I about died laughing. I'm like, seriously? Seriously, Everett? You don't know who I am? I'm like, Mrs. Rohn. He's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And I told his mom about it later because I still know her and whatever, and she was just laughing. She's like, oh, middle schoolers. But then, you know, she was saying, you know, part of it's that transformation too. But I mean, even before, I mean, my confidence, I might not even gone up to that kid before. He was a middle school kid. Who cares? Like, I guess believing in myself, I don't care what people think anymore. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in, you don't like what I have to say or you don't believe in what I'm telling you, fine. Do your own thing, you know? I don't know. I am rambling again, but but PD is huge. I mean, I didn't believe it forever. And now knowing I guess I feel grounded along with that confidence. I feel like I am bettering myself, and then I can use that to help other people.
And then I like how you touched on live events, because that's something else I didn't believe until I went to my first live event, and It changes everything. So those of you who are watching the recording, she's right. I mean, Summit was my very first event, and that was 2 years ago, and that was a turning point for me. And even if you can't get to Summit, you know, get to she went to the Sean T event or Super Saturday event. They have them every quarter. So there's really no reason not to plug into those things. They're, you know, especially if you really are wanting to grow this business, or if you think you want to grow this business, you know, you have to plug in, because it changes everything. It gives you that aha moment. And the changes that I've seen in you, I didn't know you 3 years ago, but just in the last year, I mean, it makes me want to cry tears of joy, because I see it. And I'm sure I'd love to hear what your husband has to say about you and the changes, because I know that's your relationship has to be better. And, you know, so Brandon, you want to unmute yourself and tell us the changes hold on. I just pushed the wrong button. Okay, go ahead. You want me to unmute you? Okay, I got you.
I'm just so proud of her, and it has been, you know, she said, like myself, we lack confidence in ourselves, but I guess I had more confidence in her than she did in herself. And I guess just getting her to start with T25, you know, a year and a half ago, she didn't want to do it, and I wouldn't say I pushed her into it, but I kind of said, I think you can do it. I know you can do it. I've started, so I'm just really proud, and it has helped us, just not only with us losing weight and everything else, but just personally and as a family, as a husband and wife, I think even made us better parents. We, just made all these changes just to better ourselves. So I'm just really, really proud of it.
Awesome. Thanks, babe. Well, I think you did push me, and I needed it. I mean, it's the other part of my story going back is I had tried various times to lose weight, but I didn't have the right tools for one. I didn't have a workout program that I actually believed in or that was actually working for me. I didn't have the prioritizing down. I didn't have the nutrition down at all. Our nutrition was a mess. But I was trying to do it kind of on my own, and not saying that you weren't supportive before, but you weren't jumping on board with it at that time, and the timing was just not right, and then you started, and I wasn't really on board at all, and was totally a naysayer. But when you started, I will never forget you saying, I know you can do this. My biggest things were, I'm too strong and I'm too weak and too overweight, and I don't have time. And I remember him saying, it's 25 minutes a day. We can find that. And we did. We got up at 5 o'clock every morning for 10 weeks, and we got our butts out of bed. And there was maybe in that 10 weeks, 1 or 2 times that one of us didn't push the other one out of bed to get up in the morning and work out. We worked our butts off, and having that accountability with each other was huge. And then just believing in me that I could. You kept saying, well, there's a modifier. If you don't think you can do the regular, there's a modifier. And if you're worried about that part, people, I'm telling you, my whole first 2 rounds of T25, I did modified. I still got insane results. It's doable. It doesn't matter whether you're modifying or not. You got to do what's right for you at that time. But Brandon's always had a mental strength that I didn't have before, and I'm getting that. I'm finding that in myself. But he is, and still, I'll never forget the day. And I think I told Jennifer about this too. One of the moves in T25 is a one-legged burpee, and I had never tried it. I'm always like, whatever. This girl can't do that. Are you kidding me? And one day, second round, or maybe it was over the summer, I don't know, whatever. He's watching me work out. He had just gotten home from work or whatever. And he's like, you can do that. No, I can't. I sat there and argued with him. I'm like, I cannot do that. He's like, yes, you can. Try it. Guess who was right? Not me. He's like, you can do this, and now, whenever we do get a chance to work out together, he'll still, you don't have to modify that. You can do that. I'm like, well, I'm like the kids. I'm like, no, I can't. But he pushes me in a good way, and it's been a journey of that. I won't say it's always been that way, and don't take this the wrong way, honey, because I don't mean it that way. There was times where, he was trying to help me be accountable, but I just didn't take it well. And I think maybe at that point I wasn't ready for that, whether it was, you can do this with a workout move or whatever, or whether it was what I was eating. He would really try to hold me accountable because, again, he has that mental strength of, I'm not going to eat a brownie. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm not going to whatever, or just the willpower to stop. Portion control was a huge part of my problem, and he would be able to stop eating and I couldn't, literally. And he'd kind of say stuff, and I get mad initially and get all bent out of shape. And then it got to the point where he's like, I basically yell at him, like, quit telling me that. I'll do it my way, whatever. Poor guy. So sorry. You were right. But it's, I finally got to the point where I started believing in myself, and I realized that I can do this, and I do have more self-control than I realize. And I don't know. It's just, there's something about that, doing it together. So whether that's with your spouse, or whether that's with a friend, or joining one of the challenge groups, or whatever, it just makes such a huge difference. And I will forever say that's the biggest part of this for me, is the support. If I hadn't had the kind of accountability I had, both with Brandon and with Jennifer and the team and all of that, I would have given up this journey 50 pounds ago, like I always did. Because I've lost 20 or 30 pounds before, many times, and then put it right back on. And I don't know, it's amazing.
That was awesome.
Crazy to think how things change.
Super proud of you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Thanks for letting me share.
I don't think we have time for any questions, but Robin, you have a question? Or do you want to say?
I don't have a question, but I have to, I just have to speak because I can't stand it, you know. So I can't talk a lot because, you know, I'm going to bawl because I'm trying so hard not to just bawl watching you and listening to you. And oh my gosh, the transformation is unreal. Brandon, you too, for being that husband. And Joy, y'all are such an example. I mean, for even us, like our husband, mine is a rebellious guy. He's a first sergeant. He's just a first sergeant. That's the only way I can put it nicely. Anyways, so he doesn't like to listen to me. I have to make his food and stuff. But to see y'all coming into this as a team like you are and your journey to watch, I've watched y'all shrink, just shrink. And it's just such an inspiration. And I'm so proud of you. I can't believe really, I mean, that I'm looking at your little bitty face and your little bitty body. I mean, I can, but I can't. But I just wanted to congratulate you guys and tell y'all just really inspire the crap out of us. And we are so happy that you are here. So happy. And I love seeing your confidence, Joy, that you are able to share now because you have tons of people to witness to. And we know that God doesn't bring us through these things, these trials, you know, for nothing, you know. So I just think it's awesome. That's all I had to say.
Thanks, Robin. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and go. Thank you guys for coming. It was great seeing you guys. And thank you again, Joy, for doing the call. It was great. You did a great job.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud. Did you get my message? I'm so proud of you, Joy. I've just been a crying mess
I'm just now
listening to you.
Yeah, on here.
Oh, girl. I am so proud of you. I'm so grateful for you on the team. I'm so glad that God brought us together and that your light is just shining and healing people and saving people. And I'm so proud of you. Okay, stop. I'm so proud of you. Great call.
All right, bye, ladies. Now I can say ladies because the guy is gone. All right,
Bye.
have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.